Well, we saw a cool weekend across north central Florida, but we're looking at our next cold wave approaching. But notice before then, we're going to start to warm things back up a little bit. So if you didn't quite like some of those 60s this past weekend, our temperatures in the upper 30s. Once we get into Monday afternoon, we'll see about 48 hours of a brief reprieve from those colder temperatures. So notice here as we sort of put this in motion, looking at the upper level winds in our jet stream, that our temperatures will be staying on the mild side for Monday and into Tuesday. But then watch what happens as we sort of get into the middle to late part of the week. We see the jet stream taking a huge dip, or the trough digging out, and that's going to once again be cooling off our temperatures. And we're talking about lows by Thursday morning into the mid 30s and highs that afternoon only into the low 60s. In fact, some places in North Florida could be closer to the upper 50s. So it is going to be a very chilly Thursday. By Friday, starting to warm things back up just a little bit. And our next system next weekend, we'll see some temperatures once again back in the 70s ahead of it. Our three big things that we're talking about has been that very dry air. Now we saw our dew points into the 20s Sunday afternoon, and we'll see those dew points so climbing pretty quickly as we get towards Tuesday, and that's when we see the moisture return. But before then, they will stay dry, so there's no humidity around. In fact, that air mass is just very dry, more like the northern part of the U.S. Milder, though, ahead the next front as we see those highs briefly flirting on Tuesday into the mid 70s, and then those cold temperatures expected to return on Thursday. Here it is on Monday morning, looking at those lows into the upper 30s in Gainesville, 40 down towards Ocala, so the kids will need the jackets yourself too, but you can shut them for the afternoon once we do start to see the sunshine returning. Looking at those temperatures then into the low to mid 70s, so a pleasant afternoon. Sun to be setting around 6:30, and then we're looking at temperatures not quite as cold on Tuesday morning. Notice that we're only talking about the upper 40s to low 50s around in Jacksonville, and for the afternoon ahead of it, 75 degrees and close to 80 in Ocala and the Villages. This is what we're looking at Monday morning. Still some clear skies here across Gainesville. The high pressure sort of builds in, and that's really going to keep our weather fairly nice much of the day. But there's that front as it starts to move pretty quickly towards North Florida. So we'll start to see some showers, pretty heavy ones up around Tallahassee and parts of the Big Bend as we get into Tuesday early afternoon. During the rest of the mid to late afternoon hours, that drops a little bit more south towards Gainesville, and they'll see a chance of rain then continuing into the wee hours of the morning before things clear out. Notice ahead of the front, you see those warm winds coming up out of the south and southwest, and then behind it, you see those colder northwesterly winds, and that's what's going to be dropping our temperatures down as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. So your extended forecast, here it is. We're looking at temperatures really taking another nosedive with our second cold wave, which arrives really the full force of it on Thursday. We'll see the highs then in the low 60s.